Good morning, everybody. Good morning to this webinar. We organized the webinar on behalf of the European Road Safety Charter team, and this webinar is about enforcement today. As you all know, the vision, the strategy for going to Vision Zero in Europe, but also if we are occupied with road safety, one of the core principles is, of course, the safe system approach. We have some different elements in that safe system approach: safe speeds, safe infrastructure, having good, well-equipped vehicles, but also people which are behaving in a safe way on our road, and also the fact that post-crash care is important. All these elements are, of course, surrounded by a lot of other concepts and elements which are also important in regards to road safety. One of these elements is enforcement. Enforcement is crucial for road safety in Europe. It ensures that traffic laws are followed, and it helps to reduce accidents, and it saves lives. When measures such as speed limits, but also obliged seatbelt use, and for example also bans on drinking and driving, using drugs and driving, but also bans on mobile phone users are actively enforced, drivers are more likely to comply. It fosters a culture of accountability, but it also deters dangerous behavior on our roads. A visible law enforcement presence also serves as a reminder for all the road users to act in a responsible way and to take care of all the other road users. Welcome to this webinar in regards to enforcement, and we're going to explore in this webinar enforcement strategies, how these enforcement strategies can improve road safety across Europe, and experts will discuss some changes in legislation, some best practices, some challenges, and the wider impact of enforcement on reducing road causalities. Let's go to the next slide, please. We are kindly inviting 3 guest speakers today. Gergely Antal, he's a legal officer of the European Commission, and he's going to take us with us in the development of cross-border and road traffic enforcement in the light of road safety. After Gergely, we give the floor to Jana Peleskova. She's the chair of the operational working group of ROADPOL. So she's going to tell us more about ROADPOL, what is ROADPOL doing on our European Union level, and what they are doing in regards to enforcement. Our last speaker is Saša Kuhar. She's an analyst and researcher in the Slovenian Traffic Safety Agency, and she's going to talk about the Slovenian penalty points system. She's going to also focus on the fact that a combination of enforcement and prevention is important. Prevention, which is also a core principle of our safe system approach. After each speaker, there is some space for Q&A. So please, participants, drop your questions into the Q&A. We have Tom, my colleague today, who is managing the Q&A session. So after each speaker, we will pick out some questions and give the floor to the speakers to answer these Q&As. So I will kindly invite Gergely for his presentation. Gergely, are you ready? Then I give you the floor.
Thank you so much, Isabel. This is just a name slide of my presentation: developments in cross-border road traffic enforcement in light of the road safety package. And then next slide, please. I think it's good to start this presentation about recalling a bit what the road safety package is for those of you who might not know or need a reminder. In 2023, the Commission has proposed a set of 3 directives relating to road safety, to revise 2 of them and adopt a new 3rd one. The first one out of these 3 is the so-called CBE directive, or the Cross-Border Exchange of Information Directive in road safety-related traffic offenses. In more simple terms, this is the directive that makes half of the deaths of my friends say that I used to be able to speed in Austria motorways without being caught, but nowadays I have to pay the fines. The second of these directives is the revision of the driving license directive. This is going to be the 4th driving license directive. We are currently having the 3rd one, which was adopted in 2006. So it was almost 20 years ago, and it's due for a review. And I will be speaking a bit more about the newly proposed third directive and what it entails a bit later in this presentation. Out of these three, the first one, the CB directive, was adopted end of last year. You can see the number of the new amending directive on the slide. And on the other two, we just concluded negotiations with the co-legislators, the European Parliament and the Council of the European Union in this December, and they will become once adopted one single directive on driving licenses, which will be amended by the second one. And because we just concluded it in March of this year, the negotiations, this new directive is going through the lawyer linguist checks, and then will be adopted somewhere hopefully in Q4 of this year. But as you know, I'm sure at this stage of a legislative process, the Commission has not so many official responsibilities anymore. It depends more on the Council and the Parliament. Next slide, please. In this presentation, I will be speaking or like touching upon more like on 4 topics. I will be introducing you the new CB rules. I will be also introducing you, as promised, the new rules relating to driving disqualification. Then highlighting a bit how the driving license directive can facilitate enforcement activities in a cross-border context, and then highlighting the interplay of these 3 directives from an enforcement point of view. Next slide, please. As regards the new CB rules, so as I was mentioning, the CB directive is the directive that allows authorities to basically identify the holders of the vehicles who are most often the offenders in case they commit offenses in a member state other than where their car is registered. Originally, it's a directive that was adopted in 2015, and now it will be amended by the new CB directive that was adopted last year. I think it will be transposed somewhere in mid 27. So that's when these new rules will come into effect. What I also did to give you a picture of what this directive does exactly, I quoted this sentence from Article 1 of the directive, and this is a very long description of the objective of it. But if you split it to 4 different parts, then I think it gives you a very good overview of what this directive is really responsible for. So it concerns cross-border exchange of information, meaning data relating to vehicles and holders, owners, and end users of these vehicles, which information is to be exchanged in case a road safety related traffic offense is committed not in the member state in which the vehicle is registered. So for example, to give you the example I already used, I am Hungarian. My car is registered in Hungary. I really am Hungarian. I'm not singling Hungary out for any particular reason. Just just for you to know. And I commit an offense, a speeding offense in Austria. And using this directive, the Austrian authorities can after identifying my license plate, initiate a search, an exchange of information in the Hungarian registry, vehicle registry, and they will receive information relating to my vehicle and relating to me as its holder. What are the offenses that are covered by this directive? In the original 2015 directive, there were 8 offenses, and to that we added 10 new offenses. I will not list them all now, if you don't mind. If you really want to hear all of them, then please ask a question in the chat, and I will. But these are, of course, initially were the most often committed offenses with severe consequences, like speeding, failing to use a seat belt, driving under the influence, or using a mobile phone, for example. And to this, we added new offenses like dangerous overtaking, not keeping safe distance, wrong way driving, hit and run, or using an overloaded vehicle. So if you commit these offenses with your car registered in your home member state abroad, there is a high chance that the authorities will be able to find you as the holder of the vehicle. More on that a bit later. Yes, the vehicle registered in a member state other than the member state in the offense took place. I already touched upon that. And of course, facilitating the enforcement of the sanctions. I will also touch upon that a bit later, but just for you to know, the directive achieves this by partially by the identification of the offender, and partially by helping to enforce the fine that was issued for the offender. But more on that a bit later. Next slide, please. So I thought it would be the best to give you an as real life example or like use case of this directive as possible. So I will try to guide you through like how a model procedure could look like under the new CB rules. So as we discussed, a vehicle registered in one member state commits an offense in another member state. Well, used to commit. Of course, the vehicle itself does not commit the offense. We are not there yet with AI and self-driving vehicles, but I as a Hungarian driver with my vehicle registered in Hungary commit an offense in Austria. The Austrian authorities can detect the offense two type of way, broadly speaking. Remotely, this is mainly used for speeding, for example, via a speeding camera, although not exclusively relating to speeding. There are ways, for example, to detect a vehicle being overloaded remotely, or they can detect it via an on-the-spot check, meaning they stop me and they realize that I am driving with an alcohol limit that is above what should be legal. Once this has happened, the offense was committed. The member state of the offense, that is the member state where the offense is committed, needs to identify either the holder or the driver of the vehicle. There is a difference because in quite a lot of member states, there is an objective liability on the holder of the vehicle for the committed offense, meaning that if a speeding offense was, for example, committed with your vehicle, you will have to pay the fine unless you name the driver. You will be held accountable for what your vehicle was used for. But of course, this is only for minor administrative fines. For more severe offenses, the driver has to be identified, for example, for a driving disqualification to be imposed. But also, some member states do not use holder liability by default. For example, Germany or Sweden, that comes to mind. What are the means to identify the holder of the vehicle or the driver? Under the CB, this is of course, the exchange of the vehicle information and information on the owner, holder, or end user of the vehicle, as we were discussing before. But under the new rules, there is also a possibility to ask for mutual assistance from the member state in which the vehicle is registered, and then or where it can be reasonably assumed that the offender lives. And then after asking for mutual assistance, the authorities of that member state will provide mutual assistance in identifying the driver, the person liable in the end for the offense that was committed. And there is also a possibility to use RESPER. More on that later, because that's something that was established under the driving license rules. But just for you to know, RESPER is a network for exchanging information regarding driving license related data. And and now there will be a possibility to use RESPER for identifying offenders falling under the scope of the CB directive. Next slide, please. Then, once the member state of the offense have found their person, either the holder or the driver of the vehicle, they initiate the procedures. This means that they will send a so-called traffic offense notice to the offender. This is relevant for both for remote detection or on-the-spot detection. But in case the enforcement is finalized on the spot, the content is basically cut, meaning that if you're caught speeding, but a police car was close and they immediately, stop you, and they impose a fine on you for 100 euros and you pay on the spot, then you receive like a summarized version of this traffic offense notice. In all other cases, there is an ongoing procedure against you, an administrative or even criminal in some cases procedure against you in the member state where you committed the offense. And the traffic offense notice serves to inform you about these procedures and helps you to know your rights and basically the next steps in the procedure. One of the things we really wanted to do with the new CB directive was to increase the procedural safeguards as the offenders enjoy, because unfortunately there were some cases where the situation was a bit I would say misused, that the offender, of course, is not always, or in most of the cases, they are not familiar with the legal system in the member state where they committed the offense. In any case, they will receive this traffic offense notice, which serves to inform them that the procedure is ongoing and what they can expect. Once they receive this traffic offense notice, generally speaking, the identified holder or driver have three options. They can either admit the offense or simply do not contest the decision. They do not reply, and the decision regarding the procedure becomes final, and there is a decision that says that they have committed an offense. If they are the holder, they have the possibility to almost always to identify the driver and say that it was actually my brother who was driving my car, and here is his name and address. And then the brother will receive a new traffic offense notice, and basically we repeat the procedures from step 4 onwards. Or they can contest the decision and say that, oh, no, I was not speeding, and your camera is faulty for showing me, or like your speed detector device is faulty for showing me speeding. And if they are successful, this ends the procedure. But next slide, please. In all other cases, there is a decision that is to be enforced. This usually entails a fine, and in the overwhelming number of cases, it is an administrative penalty. And then this outstanding fine has to be enforced. There are a couple of available methods in how to enforce this fine. For example, the offender can pay voluntarily. That's the easiest for everyone. And luckily, the majority, not vast majority, but the majority of the citizens do tend to pay their fines. Alternatively, there is going to be a new mutual assistance procedures under the CB directive for administrative fines, meaning that the member state where the offense was committed can request another type of assistance from the member state where the car is registered or where the offender resides to enforce their outstanding fine. And then it is basically your own home member state which enforces the fine for the offense you committed abroad. Alternatively, there is a framework decision, which is a type of a type of legal act in the field of criminal cooperation. I will not go into this one, but just for you to know, these are mainly used for criminal penalties and more severe administrative penalties in some member states. If the penalty is a criminal one, there is a possibility to use this framework decision as well. However, according to the revision of the rules, what will not be possibility in the future as of 2029, and I gave you the reasons below, is for the authorities to contract debt collectors to go after the offender and collect the fines from them via their practices as a private or privately operated debt collector company. This was the CB part of the presentation. I see that I'm not very well on time, so I will be very swift on the next parts, I promise. Next slide, please. So as I was promising, the new rules on a bit more on the new rules relating to driving disqualification. According to the current legal framework, if you're a holder of a driving license that is issued in a member state, again, for example, in Hungary, and you commit an offense that is sanctioned with a driving disqualification, for example, a 2-year suspension of your driving license or driving rights in another member state, for example, Austria, then you, under the current rules, you go back to Hungary and you're authorized still to drive in Hungary and in any other member state except Austria for those two years. There were ongoing efforts to create a European regime since the 1960s to change this. And I am quite happy to say that according to the political agreement reached in March, for the commission of 4 offenses, speeding, drink driving, driving under the influence of drugs and causing a fatality or serious bodily injury by not respecting traffic rules, there will be now a framework in place for an EU-wide driving disqualification regime. Next slide, please. In very simple terms, how this will happen is that in case a driving disqualification is imposed for the commissioning those offenses in the member state of the offense, so for example, Austria, then Austria has to notify the member state that issued the license, the member state of the issuance, so Hungary in the example, that they impose a driving disqualification. And then Hungary in turn has to implement a driving disqualification in accordance with the Hungarian rules. There are details in the directive on how this happens depending on the parameters of the driving disqualifications, but I will not bore you with this, or alternatively, I do not have time to bore you with that. But generally speaking, Hungary just imposes a driving disqualification that is, according to its own rules, that is, let's say, close to the driving disqualification that was imposed by Austria. Except where a set of so-called grounds for exemptions applies. So for example, it is obvious that Austria imposed that driving disqualification by breaching my fundamental rights because the procedure was so flawed in which I was sentenced that Hungary doesn't want to impose the driving disqualification on me. And once the member state that issued the driving license imposes the driving disqualification, it becomes EU-wide or worldwide, in fact, because I will no longer have a driving license which any other country in the world or in the union can recognize anymore. So I will, once the member state that gives you your authorization to drive, your driving license, takes that away, that's basically game over for you as a driver until you get it back, if you can get it back. Next slide, please. Very briefly mentioning again that the current driving license directive established the so-called EU driving license network, RESPER, so that member states can exchange information on driving licenses. And under the new framework, this system is revised and reinforced. To tell you a bit what this will include, RESPER will become the technical backbone for implementing the new driving disqualification rules I just told you about, and it will have a broader exchange of information on different type of driving disqualifications to help member states better fight driving license tourism. It will also allow, in all cases, for the possibility in cross-border checks of validity and authenticity of driving licenses um, to uh, to 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 validate the document or its authenticity, meaning that the police officer can, if they believe, the Austrian police officer, if they believe that my Hungarian license is fake, they can receive immediately information from the Hungarian registry to check that it is not, in fact, a fake one. And then the RESPER will be allowed to use for the enforcement of other EU legislation. Here, the CB directive is the first one, but also other directives or regulations which regulate how drivers should conduct themselves on the road. And it will support other new measures of the directive, for example, by allowing the checking of mobile driving licenses, the information presented via mobile driving licenses, by making it possible to verify that information, or by allowing the possibility to check the driving license of the accompanied driver or accompanying person in case they are driving abroad under the new EU-wide accompanied driving scheme. And last slide, please. Here I try to highlight you a very, very simple, so please do not take this by all means as a full flowchart of the procedures, but a very, very simple overview of how the interplay of this directive can look like in practice. To very briefly go through it, the ones that are not with yellow are the pure CB route, basically. An offense is detected remotely that falls under the CB directive. It is an owner-holder liability regime, so there is no real need to identify the offender, because the holder of the vehicle can just receive the traffic offense notice, and let's say the holder doesn't contest the fines, so the CB directive or the framework decision is used to enforce that fine. In the yellow parts, either when the offense is detected remotely or detected on the spot, in some form, the CB directive, its mutual assistance features, or RESPER can be used to eventually identify the offender who falls under the scope of the CB directive. And then if they also committed an offense which falls under the driving disqualification framework, and they were imposed not only with a financial penalty, but with a driving disqualification as well, then RESPER will be used to implement that driving disqualification. And in case there is a fine and a driving disqualification, then it is also possible to enforce the financial part of the decision via the use of the CB directive, and enforce the driving disqualification via the new driving disqualification rules. But again, this is a very broad overview. And I just want to highlight one more time that what is very important, not for the authority side of the enforcement, but for the person who is being enforced, that in the CB directive and also in the driving disqualification directive, there are new rules that are supposed to protect their procedural and fundamental rights, so that we can ensure that indeed these penalties are well are well are fair and proportionate, and legal in all cases. Thank you very much. You can see the on the next slide my email address. In case you have burning questions as regards the presentation, which I cannot answer right now, then please write me an email. I will try to get back to you, but if I don't do that immediately or in the near future, just please know that we will answer all queries, but and try to do it in due time, but that's not always possible, unfortunately. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Gergely. There are some questions in the chat, and Tom is managing the chat. So, Tom, I pass the floor to you.
Yes, many thanks. Thank you, Gergely. So we have a question from Mercure Zekeri. Can it be implemented directly through vehicles producers? The driver has only to identify himself to the vehicle in order to drive it.
It is a very interesting question, I would say, because there are I would say that what we are discussing right now are the types of directives that usually, except for the administrative rules on driving licenses, that usually concern only member states authorities. So the CB directive and the driving disqualification directive are mainly for the authorities to put in place. Of course, the driving license directive regulates how you get a driving license, how you renew it, etc. So that directive has parts which are very close to the citizen, but the other two are more for the authorities. But what I can say is that some of the new measures in the driving license directive, for example, are actually are being taught in this particular way on how to help facilitating enforcement. For example, to the best of my knowledge, in Belgium, there is going to be an ongoing pilot project on how to use the mobile driving license as a means to filter out people with a restriction from being able to use their vehicle. So like there are ideas, let's say, going into this direction to connect the driver and their vehicle in a way that automatically prevents the commission of an offense or not complying with the driving restriction. But generally speaking, it is not these directives that focus on that. These directives, where they focus on enforcement, it's mainly ex post. So you have already committed the offense.
Okay, many thanks. We have another question from Alexei Afonin. So, as I understand, the European Union is working towards or has implemented a centralized vehicle registry that includes license plate numbers, vehicle make and color, and the registered owner's name. This kind of registry would enable police to fully identify both the vehicle and its owner. Could you please confirm whether such a registry currently exists across the EU or is in the process of being developed? And additionally, how is this registry being protected from cybersecurity threats to ensure the safety and privacy of the data it contains?
Thank you very much. It is a very good question because that's something I was not focusing on that much. No, there are no plans to create a central registry. Decentralization is a very important aspect of, for example, the CB directive, but generally speaking, all EU legal acts that relate to exchange of information for these purposes on vehicle registration data, for example. It would be a nightmare, to be honest. That is my personal opinion, to have a central registry, both from a data protection point of view and also from a day-to-day operation point of view, because that means that if someone in Spain registers a new vehicle, then at someone in Spain and in let's say Brussels both would have to update this registry, and keeping these registers up to date is already quite hard with only member states own responsibilities. So no, it is absolutely not centralized. It is decentralized, and how that works is that through a network which is called Eucharis, you can have access to the registry of the other member states. So there is no central register, but you, as the Austrian police officer in my example, can check the Hungarian registry, and by this way there is no need even for a central register. And what I can say about the cybersecurity point of view, what, to the best of my knowledge, but please take this with a grain of salt because that's not my field of expertise, but these registries and all registries dealt with by administrations, by government authorities, fall under the relatively new NIS2 directive, which is designed to ensure that they are robust and secure against cyber attacks. So there are EU rules on keeping registries safe and secure against cyber attacks.
Thank you, Tom and Gergely. There are still some questions in the chat, so Gergely, maybe I kindly invite you also to have a look at these questions and to answer them in the chat so we can go to the next speaker. So the next slide, please. So our next speaker is Jana Peleskova. She's the chair of the operational working group of ROADPOL, and she's going to tell us more about the ROADPOL enforcement activities. I give you the floor, Jana.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jana Peleskova, and I work like a chief commissioner at the Directorate of Traffic Police of the Police Presidium of the Czech Republic. But today, I have the honor to speak here as a representative of ROADPOL, the European Roads Policing Network. I've been representing the Czech police in this international organization for more than 9 years. And this way of cooperation has become a matter of my heart, to be honest. In 2023, I was elected to the position of the chair of the operational working group, as was mentioned. Shortly, we call it OPG. Next slide, please, Jenny. In the ROADPOL organization, we are used to speaking in the plural, and therefore, even in today's presentation, the word we will mean ROADPOL, because we are ROADPOL. One of the most important thing in our cooperation is the unity. Next slide, please. I would like to tell you some basic facts about ROADPOL. Firstly, who we are. ROADPOL is a non-governmental international traffic police network. Next, please. Member states. ROADPOL has actually 32 European member states plus one observer. The observer are the United Arab Emirates, represented by the Dubai police. Next, please. About the budget, ROADPOL is currently financed by the member states primarily, even if there is also an important cooperation with the European Commission. And ROADPOL takes part in a different projects such as, for example, Strider 3. Next, please. About our target. Our main target is simple, but also very hard. To reduce the number of deaths and serious injuries on European roads and beyond. And of course, to make the roads safer in general. And if you ask about the profile of this organization, it could be shortly described like the pan-European operation and simply the cooperation. Next slide, please. About our organizational chart, our top management consists of the president, vice president, and general secretary. President of ROADPOL is brand new, and he was elected this month in our last spring meeting of ROADPOL, which was held in Dubai. And our brand new president is from Poland. His name is Gergely. Our vice president is now Elvira Žinkaj. Previously, she used to be the president for the last 3 years. And general secretary is from Bulgaria, and his name is Damian Vladinov. Then we have the executive committee. Executive committee consists of the top management and 3 members elected by the council, plus the OPG chair. Next, please. We also have a council. Council is a body that makes strategic and organizationally important decisions. In most cases, or many cases, the representative is the director of the traffic police of the member state. And last but not least, there are the working groups. Operational working group. I am used to say that OPG is the muscle of the organization, because OPG is in charge of organizing and implementing pan-European traffic safety actions, also for sharing good and also bad practice, and discussing the operational topics. We really use the floor of the OPG as a special body to share the practice, to share the information, because it's very common to say that the information, even in the time of AI and internet and all these browsers and so on, still the information is a very expensive thing. But when we are talking about the information in the police work, it's very, very, very important thing. And these information are not to be found in the public place or public browser. So that's why we need such a body to discuss the internal information from the traffic polices. Under the umbrella of OPG, there are 2 more highly specialized groups. One is the technology working group, and the second one is the TACO working group. The first one deals with the technological news and updates, brings us these information which are quite important, and we as the representatives of the member states can bring them back home to our superiors, and we can improve our work fluently and with the best information we can get. The second one is specialized in the tachograph issues, especially detecting their manipulation. There are 2 physical meetings of Council and OPG every year, in spring and in autumn. Next slide, please. About the ROADPOL activities. There are the Europe-wide police enforcement operations, I will come back to this topic in a minute. And we also do the seminars, trainings, and courses, because the education and sharing of practice, doesn't matter if good or bad, is one of the main benefits of this organization. There are seminars and masterclasses for policemen during the year, which take place in different countries, especially Germany, Italy, also in the Belgium. So really, we believe that the education and the following education of the policemen and police officers is very, very important. Next, please. In connection, exchanging best practice ideas, practical solutions, technical possibilities, techniques, methods in traffic policing, it is really very much connected to this topic. And next, please. And as I already mentioned, the partnership with European Commission and key stakeholders are very, very crucial to us. And last but not least, next, please. We also put our energy to the prevention campaigns. We have the special accident prevention campaign called ROADPOL Safety Days. Next slide, please. I promised to get back to the description of ROADPOL operations. ROADPOL operations are coordinated pan-European enforcement actions by the traffic police officers from each ROADPOL member country. These operations focus on the most pressing transport and traffic issues we face on a daily basis. First, alcohol and drugs. Alcohol and drugs is the operation we have twice a year. The purpose of this operation is not only to repress driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, but also to attract media attention, for example, to the subject. Driving under the influence is still one of 4 main killers on the road in Europe. Alcohol and drugs marathon, next please, is a 24 hours operation. This is a 24 hours of the continuous control. This part of, because it takes place within the alcohol and drugs operation, but this special day, this special marathon has quite a strong media support. Next, please. We also have the focus on the road operation. This is the action about the distraction in traffic, like the driver's distraction. Means using of mobile phones while driving, navigation, or other in-car devices, food and drinks, advertising by the road, increasing cause of accidents. You know, the driver's distraction is also one of the causes of road crashes, which is really most common. So we need to focus on this topic also. Next, please. We have also the operation seatbelt, which is focused on using the seatbelts and child restraints like the means of passive safety. Next, please. Yes, Operation Speed. Speeding is called the #1 killer in road crashes. We have this operation twice per year. We are using the speed cameras, radars, and also the police physical checks. Within the first speed operation, we also have, next please, the 24 hours speed marathon. 24 hours of continuous control. And the interesting thing is, then in some states, we involve also the public. We ask the public to, let's say, suggest us the places where to measure the speed. They propose the checkpoints, and also this marathon, it's very similar to the alcohol and drugs marathon, has quite a strong media involvement. Next, please. We have also the truck and bus operation. This is also the coordinated pan-European enforcement. We have it 3 times per year. And we are focusing on traffic offenses, transport offenses, crime on the roads. And these actions are also quite often the joint operations with transport inspection and road safety partners, for example, ELA, European Labour Authority. We have a brand new operation this year, and it's called two-wheelers. Next slide, please, Jenny. As you see, the two-wheelers operation was held for the first time this month from 21st to 23rd May. And unfortunately, I'm not able to see the results up to now. But as I was speaking about the sharing of practice among the traffic polices, we are facing the same problems sometimes. And we use the motto that different states, same problems. And we are all very much as the traffic police officers facing the problems with scooters and e-scooters. So that's why that was the original idea to have a special pan-European operation focused on two-wheelers, which means scooters, e-scooters, bicycles, e-bikes, and also motorcyclists as the vulnerable road users. So as you see here, you can see the wall planner, which is the plan for the ROADPOL pan-European actions. This wall planner is approved for this year 2025. And you can see how are the operations I was talking about before, how they are spread in the year. You can see almost every month we have one pan-European operation. You can say that there is nothing in July, but July and August are dedicated to the whole 2-month operations called Safe Holidays. And it's especially for the tourist attractive countries during the summer, like in the southern Europe. Now I would like to speak, next slide please. As you have seen in September from 16 to 22nd, we have there planned the ROADPOL Safety Days. ROADPOL Safety Days, I have already mentioned, is the preventive campaign. Which we decided in the last few years that each year it will have a special topic. Last year, and you will see the video in a few minutes, the topic was the driver's aggressive behavior. This year, the topic for this year's campaign will be the two-wheelers. Why? I have already explained, because this topic is quite crucial. And I wanted to remind you that ROADPOL launched the photo contest for the public. We are asking the public to send us the photos with this topic of two-wheelers, because we would like to use the real photos for our campaign in September. So please now, Jenny, let's have a look on the next slide, and please switch on the video for 2024 from last year.
Every day we share the road to get where we're going. When we drive with respect, we protect not just ourselves, but children, families, communities. But sometimes the pressure to get there faster makes us forget what's important. Thousands of crashes are caused by aggressive and risky driving. Together, we can change that. Join the ROADPOL Safety Days. Say no to road aggression. Drive with respect. ROADPOL Safety Days, 16th to the 22nd of September.
Thank you so much, Jenny. And we can move on to last but not least topic, which is the ROADPOL challenges. To make ROADPOL complete means we still miss some European states. And we really hope that once in the future, the ROADPOL will become a complete network of European traffic polices. And it's also the task for the top management, and also our very, very important target. Next, please. The visibility on social networks. I think all of us know that nowadays we need to communicate, especially through the social networks. So our challenge is to increase our visibility in there, as they really are the possibility how to have the impact on the public, and how to involve the public and to raise the awareness to the road safety. Next, please. Our plan is also to focus a little bit more on data analysis we are able to gain and their further publication. We are dealing with the problems with the data in that perspective that each member state is so it's very challenging to deal with the data analysis, but still we believe it makes sense. And when we are talking about the results after each year and each operation, is quite impressive. So still we need to focus on the data analysis. Next, please. Preventive campaigns. Sometimes you can meet the people who tell you that, for example, the prevention doesn't work. But we in ROADPOL still believe that each operation cannot be only about the repression. It's not about the fines. It's not about the checks and fines, you know. We still believe that each operation should be communicated first, like the prevention, to raise the awareness, then to have the operation, and to describe the result of the operation. And still, the main thing should be to improve the road safety. Next, please. And I have already spoken about this topic, so we definitely need to use the power of the board to share the knowledge, to teach, to learn, to use, to warn, and finally, hopefully, to succeed with our main target. Next slide, please. And here you can see the ROADPOL partners, the mentioned challenges we will not be able to reach without such good partners, as you can see on this slide. And definitely it's still about the international cooperation and also the inspiration among these organizations. So this is everything from my side. Jenny, I will ask you for the last slide, and you can click once more, please. Thank you very much for your attention, and it would be our pleasure if you will follow us on these social networks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jana Peleskova. Are there questions? Yes, I go to Tom.
Yes, so we have a question from Solvega. Dambroscate, sorry for the names if I pronounce it not right. So the question is, what are ROADPOL's strategic priorities for upcoming campaigns and enforcement operations to further enhance road safety across Europe?
To be honest, the topics for the operations remain quite the same, because they reflect the main causes of road crashes, and they are not changing very much. So still we are going to focus on speed, focus on alcohol and drugs, driver's distraction, and also the restraints like the passive safety of the road users. And as I have already mentioned, the two-wheelers are quite crucial topic to traffic police officers across the Europe. And the strategy, if I will not speak about the priorities for the pan-European operations, I will speak about the strategy of the organization. The main topics will remain the same. We will inform about the strategy for the next 5 years very soon. very soon, but still it will be the international cooperation. Also, as I was talking about the data analysis and still focusing on the main target to raise the awareness of the public in order to decrease the number of road deaths, because all of us would like to raise the vision zero, but the path, the way to this target is still not that easy. We need to work on it. We need to raise the awareness, because I mentioned this in my speech in Dubai Road Police Summit 2 weeks ago. If everybody will respect, or if everybody respects the rules, each road user, even if it's the, I don't know, cyclist, if it's just a man walking around the street, or the driver, doesn't matter what vehicle he's driving, each road user will respect the rules, no crash will happen. So that's it. We need to raise the awareness of for these of the rules. We need to attract the public to want to be safe in the road environment. So that's it. But it's not that easy. But we would like to continue in this way.
All right, we have another question from Christian Krautler from Austria. So, are there plans for preventive campaign on drugs in road traffic, and if so, what does it look like? Drugs, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about the main preventive campaign we have as a ROADPOL. The main preventive campaign of ROADPOL is the ROADPOL Safety Days. ROADPOL Safety Days 2025 will have the topic two-wheelers. Two-wheelers connected. The main motto of two-wheelers will be a positive example. So it means give the positive example to the younger, so this will be the motto of our main preventive campaign, ROADPOL Safety Days, this year. As I said, last year it was the aggressive drivers' aggressive behavior. According to drugs, we have the alcohol and drug operation, and we will not have this year. We will not have the special campaign focused on drugs. But before each alcohol and drug operation, we have the posts shared in the social media, and this year we will use the ideas and campaigns from our member states. For example, the Czech police had the campaign focused on drugs, and it was called the Short Ways. And we will communicate this campaign in the ROADPOL social networks before the next alcohol and drugs operation.
Okay, perfect. There is, I think, one last big question from Christian Talaker. So he said, "Thank you, Jana, for your inspiring presentation. You spoke of the importance of preventive campaigns. You spoke about preventive campaign, raising awareness and the value of data in showing results. In my own work with Youth Planet, with Youth for Planet here in Luxembourg, I've seen the impact of preventive actions, especially when using a two-wheel and three-wheel cargo e-bike for traffic calming, engaging directly with aggressive drivers and showing them the danger they represent. Given the growing use of the cargo e-bikes by police, EMS, and roadside services across Europe, do you see a role for the two-wheel or three-wheel cargo e-bikes in preventive traffic policing and awareness campaign during your September 2025 Road Safety Days, especially in partnership with cities working toward Vision Zero? Could ROADPOL help share best practices on pilot such initiatives?
Definitely, why not? The topic is general, like two-wheelers, and It's true that in most of member states the problems are the same. Tourists on the scooters, for example, driving under the influence of alcohol, not wearing the helmets, for example, and also, of course, there are problems with these deliveries using the two-wheelers and so on. I also mentioned the photo contest, and definitely there was mentioned also my email opg@roadpol EU. Don't hesitate to let us know. We also have if you would like us, for example, to cooperate with you and to use some, for example, ideas for the campaign, we are definitely open to that. And you can contact me, or as I say, opg@roadpol.eu, or the same media @roadpol.eu. We have the media manager who is dealing with the social network posts. So definitely we can discuss on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. Thank you, Tom. Jana, there are still some other questions in the chat, so please have a look, and if it's possible, try also to answer it in the chat over there. So then I go to the next speaker, Saša Kuhar. She's an analyst and researcher in the Slovenian Traffic Safety Agency. She's going to tell us something about the Slovenian penalty point system, which combines enforcement with prevention. Saša, I give you the floor.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. As already mentioned, my name is Saša Kuhar, and I am from Slovenian Traffic Safety Agency. And today I will present you the penalty point system here in Slovenia and some preventive actions that we are running in Slovenia in the field of the road safety. Next slide, please. So for the beginning, what is the penalty point system? The penalty point system is a legal mechanism used to monitor and penalize drivers for traffic violations. In Slovenia, we introduced the penalty point system in 1998 to reduce traffic violations and repeat offenders, and has undergone several reforms since 1998. It's a behavior tool to enforce better driving habits through consequences. So we implemented penalty point system through the Road Traffic Rules Act and the Minor Offences Act. This system applies to all drivers and assigns penalty points for specific traffic violations. A driver may accumulate up to 18 penalty points before his driving license is taken. So once he received 18 points, his driving license is revoked for at least 6 months. And the central record that of penalty points is kept by the Ministry of Justice. So next slide, please. In Slovenia, penalty points are just one of part of a larger system. Depending on the seriousness of the violation, a driver might get a formal warning, a fine, penalty points, or even have their license suspended. One offense might seem minor, but they add up, and for serious violations such as dangerous driving or alcohol abuse, the penalties are much stricter, including temporary driving bans. Next slide, please. Just some information on how the system works. So penalty points are assigned based on a specific violation. The points remain valid for 2 years from the date of the final decision. And if a driver accumulates 18 points, their driving license is revoked. It is important to note that the points are added per offense and not per day. This means that even more than one offense per day that are committed, the driver gets points for each offense. So according to the Article 22 of the Minor Offences Act, points range from 1 to 80, depends on the severity and consequences of the violation. Penalty points are not assigned to the passengers, cyclists, and pedestrians. If the vehicle owner is not a driver at the time that offense is committed, the vehicle holder is not obliged to identify the driver. Next slide, please. So here you can see some common violation and their corresponding points. So speeding in urban areas from 10 to 20 kilometers per hour results in 3 penalty points and monetary fine. It is 300 euros. If a driver runs through a red light, he received 3 penalty points and monetary fine of 250 euros. So driving under the influence of alcohol with a blood alcohol level over 1.1 gram per kilo results in 18 points and a fine of 1,200 euros. If driver use a mobile phone during driving, he receives 3 penalty points and monetary fine of 250 euros. And for example, if driver doesn't use seatbelt, it is only penalized by monetary fine, not with penalty points. And the monetary fine, it is 120 euros. Next slide, please. There are some specific rules for the new drivers. Who is the new driver in Slovenia? This means these are people who are younger than 21 years old and those who have held their license for less than 2 years. So the system is stricter for them because the statistics show that the new drivers are likely to cause accidents. So instead of 18 points, their threshold is just 7 points. That means that a few small mistakes can have serious consequences for young drivers. Next slide, please. So what happens when someone reaches 18 points, the limit that it is here in Slovenia, or 7 points for the new drivers? So the driver license is mandatory revoked. To regain the license, the drivers must complete re-education and retake driving exam. In some cases, a temporary suspensions may apply even for a single major violation, as we already see, driving under the influence of alcohol. The appeals are possible, but the options are limited. But you need to know that Slovenian systems allows drivers to reduce their penalty points, but this is only possible when a driver has from 4 to 70 penalty points. He has to attend special education workshops or safe driving courses. If foreign drivers in Slovenia gets 18 penalty points or exceed 18 penalty points, he or she is banned from driving in Republic of Slovenia for 1 year. Next slide, please. So we will see now the comparative with Slovenia with other EU countries. As already you probably know, also other EU countries have similar penalty systems. But for example, France has 20 points limit, and in Germany they have 8 points limit. In Slovenia, already mentioned, we have 18 for adult driver and 7 points for new drivers. And however, all countries apply this graduated system. That means that severe offenses result in more points. So once a driver receives the maximum of the points, they lose their license. In some countries, drivers start with certain number of points, and then they are losing during the different offenses. But in Slovenia, every driver began with 0 points, and then when he made some offenses, he gets the points, and the maximum level is 7 for new one and 18 points for the old drivers. Next slide, please. And the most important question that I believe that everyone is asking himself is, does this penalty system work? Our opinion and the numbers says yes. So since 1998, when we begin with this system, the number of fatal accidents has dropped. It also helped the reduce repeat offenses, and especially when drivers know that the education is part of the solution, they can make less offenses. So the goal is not just to take licenses, but also to give some new education knowledge and to train drivers to be more safer and to aware drivers to be safe in during their driving and part of the traffic. Next slide, please. So nevertheless, here in Slovenia, we have some challenges. For example, due to personal data protection law, there are some limitations regarding the use of the technical tools like roadside cameras for enforcement. And that means that offenses like phone use or not wearing a seatbelt can only be penalized if police witnesses the offender in live, not by camera. So, which is not so practically, and also drivers often receive the information about the radar control systems through the radio station information news. And the challenge that we are recognized is that the police and the municipal warden can only panel offenders only if they see them in person. It's also specific in Slovenia that the police officers and the warden, municipal wardens, do not have the opportunity to see the penalty points of the driver. They can see the number of the points, but not the reason why the driver received the points. Next slide, please. So despite these challenges, Slovenia Traffic Safety Agency is very active in raising awareness and promoting a safety culture. We organize awareness campaigns, prepare educational materials like posters, brochures, workshops, not just for drivers, also for children, for seniors. We also distribute the reflective items like vests, bands, and this is especially for pedestrians and cyclists. Our ongoing challenge is as already mentioned today, to reduce traffic fatalities and reach the goal of Vision Zero, no deaths on Slovenian roads. So next slide, please. As Jana already mentioned you, like similar like ROADPOL, also Slovenia runs multiple preventing campaigns through the year. These include pedestrian safety, the mobile phone use, awareness for motorcyclists, speed controls. In May we have the micromobility week, then danger of alcohol and drugs in the traffic, as well during the summer traffic safety and back to school campaign. These are also participation in the broader initiative like European Mobility Week and season campaigns in autumn and winter. So to conclude, I will ask for the last slide, please. Thank you. The penalty point system is not just the punishment, it's part of a broader national effort to improve road safety in Slovenia. It emphasizes prevention, education, and responsibility. The system is adapted to legal and technological changes, and it plays a key role in building a safer traffic culture for all road users. So this will be from me. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you a nice afternoon.
Thank you, Saša. I go to Tom, who is managing the Q&A.
Yes, so we have a question from Alain Ariel from Portugal. He's asking, are the training courses voluntary, and how many points do they give back to the offender? And also, is there a limit to the number of courses an offender can attend?
Thank you for your question. Yes, these courses are totally on sorry, what is the beginning of the question?
Are the training courses voluntary?
Okay, they are payable, and yes, they are voluntary. The offender can decide which course and when to get it, but it is important that he go to the course before he received 18 points. It is possible just one course during the 2 years period, and it gets a reduction of 4 penalty points.
All right. I don't have any other question for now. If the members still have some question, I will write the email of Saša in the chat, and you can send her an email. We have just a question again from Alain. Why is not wearing a seatbelt penalized by with points?
I don't know. This is a question for our legislation officers. So probably there will be some changing during new legislation, but till now there was no penalty points for not using the seatbelt. Where is the reason for this? Unfortunately, I cannot give you the answer.
Okay. I think it's all.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Saša, for this good explanation of the penalty point system. I'm also, especially interested in the effectiveness. So if you would have some research about this, you can also share it with me, because this is also a question which pops up in Belgium. Then I go to the next slides, please, Jenny, if you're, yes, thank you, Jenny. I think that a lot of people are here and member of the European Road Safety Charter. And as you all know, we are also organizing some awards. So our prestigious annual awards are the perfect opportunity to recognize and celebrate the incredible achievements of our members towards our shared goals of improved road safety across Europe. So if you have an action, a project, a strategy, a campaign, a method with some measurable results in regards to road safety, do not hesitate to apply and to submit your submission. So the deadline is until Friday the 30th of May. The condition is that you need to be a member of the European Road Safety Charter. And maybe, Jenny, the next slide. So this year, each year we have some categories in which you can submit your project, your campaign, your strategy, and these are the categories. So it is driving under the influence and distraction, so killers and killers in traffic. education, older people, technology, and the urban category. So please feel free to submit still your proposal. Go for it, put your project into the spotlight on a national level, but also on a European Union level, and try to win that award. My last slide, and then I'm going to close, is in regards to the collaboration space. We have a collaboration space in which all the members of the European Road Safety Charter can engage with each other, can share practices, can share their knowledge. So if you want to connect with other members, because it's really important to have that connection and to share also all kinds of ideas in regards to road safety, go and scan the code and share your ideas, share everything you know, which could be of value for other members too, and in other countries too. I want to thank you for joining this webinar. I want to thank especially our 3 guest speakers, but of course also the participants. I also want to thank you for keeping an eye on the time, because we're perfectly on time. That's also a success, actually. I also want to thank the participants for attending the webinar. If there are still questions, if there are still some remarks, please don't hesitate to contact us. I see there is also a question in regards to the submission of the project. So maybe Katie or Tom, can you take this one? Or Oleksky, you can also send this email to the help desk of Ricardo. So that's also a possibility. Or I ask Tom or Katie who are joining this webinar to have a look at this. My last thank is going to Jenny, who is runs this webinar perfectly, and to Tom, who managed the Q&A. Have a nice day, enjoy your day, and also take care of yourself and of the others on the road, of course. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.